Okay, so now we've put some tape around the car to protect it while we're working in a blanket. We also got the new top. Put some protective material on the window, taped it on the inside and the outside, so we don't scratch up the plastic when we're working on this thing. So now we're going to start lining this up. We're going to start by putting a screw right here on the corner on each side, and then we're going to start restapling the back. And it looks like this is the center with this hole right here. We'll have the center line up the hole, and then we'll start stapling right here all the way around. And here's the old piece. You see all the staples on here. They were totally back-to-back staples all the way around this whole thing here. So this is my old piece I pulled off. There's a hole. There was a screw right there at that seam. So what I'm going to do is put a hole right here in the same spot, each side. Screw this in, this bottom part. And then we'll start stapling. Alright, so now I got the two screws in either side, anchoring this thing down. So the next stop is to start stapling. Now there's a plastic channel along the bottom of the top sewed into the bottom. And that aligns perfectly with the plastic strip lines into this channel right here. And once I put that right in, I'll just put staples right on that same row all the way across. And I'm using 10mm stainless steel staples. Yeah, so I'm going to use these guys, which are rust resistant, so because this actually gets wet, this part of the car, so we don't want to use regular staples here. Okay, now I have the top stapled to the tacking bow and ready to put it in place again, but first I got to get some of this kind of sealant here that was on there before. Because the way this thing works is water actually runs down here. It's going to run down a channel, and then there is a drain right down there where the water goes out. This is the cable tie that holds this top on, and I think this maybe I should be doing instead of what I did on the other side. This white piece was in that hole there, and I was able to push it out. But I do have this bracket right here, so I think what I'll do on this side is a little different. I'll take this bracket off, and I have new brackets here instead of the other side. I actually pried open this bracket here, so I'm going to take off this little bracket, and I do have a new one of these. All right, roll this window, 3M window caulking, and what I'm going to do is put a bead of this around this back plating here, so when I attach this, it will be sealed. Okay, you see I put the bead of caulk around the area where we expect the seal to meet, and then we'll load that in there, and hopefully it'll seal watertight. Alright, so most of the bolts are actually in place, lined up, and not fully tightened. The last one is, these ones here are really difficult in these little wells, because you got to push it through the hole there, and the bolt goes way inside. So I used some of this caulking, which is really sticky, and I got the bolt stuck on there so I can put this through that hole and then kind of spin it tight in my hand. The problem is getting the wrench, the socket wrench on here. You can't really do it because there's a piece of black rubber right in the way here. But with this, at least I can get it in there, so that's what I've been doing. I got the other side done, and this will be the last bolt to put on, and then I can go back and tighten all the bolts up around the inside there. All right, now I have the bow rail bolted in place around the whole back, tightened down. One thing, you know, I had a little difficulty with is getting this bow rail in there in the first place. I found it's easier if you put the bow rail in the back first, and then slowly slide these parts down in there. I had to have somebody help me do that. It was kind of difficult. We first tried to put it in right here first, but it just wouldn't fit that way. You have to put the back in first. Also, probably when you pull it out, you have to do the same thing. Pull the back center part of it up, and then this part comes out. All right, next step is to reinstall this rubber weather stripping around the back. There is a metal lip right there. It was part of the bow, and this just has to slide in on that. I noticed if I took it off, there's these clips right here on the end. So it looks like when you put that last one on, you slide this clip on the end and hold down. One of these popped off when I was taking it off. I didn't know they were there, so one of these I gotta locate. I don't know what's that. Okay, so what I did now is there's this strap right here which hooks to the back window. Went over the rail here, wrapped around, and I riveted it back to the piece right here. So I did on both sides. So I have those done. I think the next thing is to get this inside quarter panel bracket here. We're gonna clip that on this. Okay, at this point we run this cable back through. The cable starts right here. There's a pocket underneath here. So this cable ran through here, and now it's in position again. So we'll get those screws and screwed on. This side here is when I did the opposite way. So this one here I fed from this angle up, and so we'll get this cable, pop it through here, this hole here, and get that one on the same way. Also, the top came with these new clips here, so since I had to bend the other one off and got bent up, I used a new clip right here. This is screwed to these holes right there. Only one screw on that though, so I need to stretch this spring over. Actually attaches to this hole here. All right, so what the point I got now is I sprayed some glue on this top, fold this over, and then screwed out this rail back to the top. I had this part almost in position here, so kind of stressing it how far I thought it should go. Actually, there's a plastic piece sewn to the edge, and it basically goes right to the edge right where the screws are at. So I just kind of lined up there and then put that top over. The other thing we did too was screwed the screws back on the plastic on the edge right here. Screw that in. Now I'm putting this rail back on that holds the molding. So that's a step we're at to right now. One problem we had was there's screws right here to hold this plastic railing on. They are very tough to get in because the screws are so short. So we got a little C-clamp, clamped it right in there like that to hold that plastic in, to get those 5 screws right down in that plastic and hold them in there. All right, so the next step is to get the rubber gasket back on the quarter panel. And it's been taking a little time. All right, so now I'm going to attach the header bow with these 2 bolts right here, tighten everything down, and then attach the rubber part right there. All right, so now I need to put these straps back on. I'm going to fold this over here, get a rail, and put a rivet right here. That pulls the top in when it goes down so it doesn't belly out. Okay, so what I did here, these flaps that came down, you basically roll them over these bars and then have glue on it and put the plastic channels back on. So all 3 of these now are done. Snap the top on, and now the top is complete.
Wow.
Here's the owner of the car.